Hello, this is now question number 4 for Edexcel's C4 June 2008 past paper. Okay, so we are told there's a curve that has this equation, which is 3x squared take y squared plus xy equals 4. We're told that points P and Q lie in the curve. The gradient of the tangent to the curve is 8/3 at P and Q. So basically, because we know the gradient of the tangent is a gradient of the curve, what we can imply from that there is that the gradient of the curve at P and Q is also 8/3. So the first thing that we need to do, obviously, is find the gradient function, okay? Which is just to differentiate this, okay? So we're just using implicit differentiation, obviously, because we've got y squared in here as well. First term is nice and easy, it's just 6x. The second term is a minus 2y, and we put dy dx next to it. Now, as I said, the reason we do that is due to the chain rule, and the official explanation is on the C4 playlist. Okay, now this xy, to differentiate that, because it's a function of x times a function of y. In essence, it's a function times another function. So we need to differentiate that, but we can't just always, okay, it's 1. But it's not, okay? Because we need to differentiate each term. So we do u is equal to x, u dashed is therefore equal to 1, v is equal to y, so therefore v dashed is equal to 1, but we put dy dx next to it because it's a differential of y, okay, not x. Okay, so the differential, when we differentiate product rule, it's vu dashed plus uv dashed, okay? So it doesn't matter which way around you put it, but that's the order I like to remember it, because it's the same as the quotient rule, which that's an important thing as well. Okay, it's an important way around to remember it for that. Maybe give it too much of a setup. But anyway, okay, so it's vu dash, which is y times 1 plus x times 1 dy dx. Now, I hate these kind of questions, because it always makes you think, well, surely if we've got a y here that should be with the dy dx, but this y isn't differentiated, so don't get confused like I do. Okay, so it's y plus x dy dx, or x times 1 dy dx. Doesn't really matter. I find it easier to put it like this. And because that's a differential of xy, we just sub this answer into xy, okay? And because we're already writing out the equation here, I'm just going to sub in here. Now, it doesn't really matter for this, but it's nice to get into the habits of putting it in a set of brackets. Okay, so it's y plus x dy dx. And don't forget, that is equal to, well, it's not equal to 4, because when we differentiate 4, we get 0. Okay, so that 4 just disappears, really. Okay, so let's write this out as a full thing. So it's 6x take 2y dy dx plus y, and we expand brackets, and that's plus x dy dx, okay? And then what we do is we group together the dy dx's, put them on one side, and put the standard differentials on the other side, okay? So it doesn't matter which way around you do this, you should end up with an answer which is equivalent, okay? So when we make dy dx subject. Now, I'm going to move the dy dx's onto the right hand side, because these two are already positive, okay? When I say these two, the 6x and the y, are already positive, so there's no need to move them to the other side and make them negative, because it's just, in my view, it's going to make it a bit more complicated. Okay, so it's 6x plus y is what we're leaving on the right hand side, and we're adding 2y dy dx, which moves it to the other side, and taking away x dy dx. Okay, so it's 2 dy dx take x dy dx. Okay, and what we're going to do, because these are both times by dy dx, we're going to factorise this so we can make dy dx subject. Okay, so dy dx times 2y take x is equal to 6x plus y. Okay, and then what we do is we just divide both sides by 2y take x, so therefore dy dx is equal to 6x plus y over 2y take x. Now, if you were to have done it the other way around, now this isn't the final answer, by the way, because we've still got to make that equal to 8/3. Okay, and go from there. Alright, I feel I may be running out of room. Just a little bit. Okay, so as I said, if you would have done it the other way, in terms of you would have moved the 6x and the y over to the other side by taking them away, you would have made it equal. You would have gotten a differential equation, which would have said, okay, well it's x. Sorry, one sec. Let me just think this through. Yeah, minus 6x minus y over x plus 2y is equal to dy dx. But I think that's a lot simpler doing it my way. Okay, so then it's just a case of timesing both sides by 3 and timesing both sides by 2y take x, okay? So if you times both sides by 3, you'd be timesing the 6x plus y by 3, okay? So you get obviously 18x plus 3y. Times both sides by 2y take x, okay? So it'd be 8 brackets 2y take x. Okay, expand this out, so you get 18x plus 3y is equal to, well, that's 16y take 8x. And if you simplify that down, you should get 26x equals 13y. Okay, now it wants us to prove that y take 2x is equal to 0. And, well, we've not got that, clearly. But you should recognise that we can both divide both sides by 13 because we've got 13 here and it goes, 26 goes into 13 goes into 26, I should say. So 2x is equal to y. Rearrange to get the form we want it in. So 2x take y is equal to 0, which should get you, which is exactly the same as what we want. So you would put as required. Okay, so that's pretty much the answer for part A. Pretty much it is the answer for part A. Okay, now obviously that's not the end of the question. We need to now find the coordinates of P and Q. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pause the video so I can rub all this off and rearrange all the information we need to and move on with the next question. So just be a second. Okay, so this is now question. Sorry, well, this is kind of continuing. I was going to say this is question 4. Anyway, okay, so rubbed all that rubbish off the board. Now what we've got is this 2x take y equals 0, and all I've done is rearrange that to get y. So therefore y is equal to 2x. Now what we want to do is we want to find obviously the x and y coordinates of P and Q. But what do we actually have? Well, all we've got is this equation we've just worked out, so it also has to be able to help us out somehow, otherwise it wouldn't have told us. And obviously the only other equation, the original one, is this 3x squared take y squared plus xy equals 4. Okay? Now because that's got a constant in there of 4, we should be able to simply rearrange this, sub it in. I've rearranged it to get y, you could rearrange it to get x, so x is y over 2. And then sub into this equation and find either x or y, okay? Now because, well, it's a lot simpler to just sub in y is 2x, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so 3x squared take y squared, which is take 2x all squared, I'm just going to leave it in the brackets at the moment, plus x times y, or x times 2x, equals 4. And then it's just a case of expanding all this, so it's 3x squared take 4x squared, okay, plus 2x squared equals 4. So therefore if you simplify this down, obviously that is negative x squared plus 2x squared, so obviously just x squared is equal to 4. So therefore you square root both sides, so therefore x is equal to plus or minus 2. Okay, don't forget the plus or minus. Okay, then what we need to do is, so we don't know which, we don't know if P has an x coordinate 2 or if P has an x coordinate minus 2. It doesn't really matter. But the key thing is we've got 2 x coordinates there. So you can say, I know I've put it as 1, but really it's x equals plus 2 or x equals minus 2. Okay, so they're the 2 solutions. Now what we need to do is simply sub them values for x back into this value for y, okay? So just create another bit of line of working with me. So I'd rewrite the equation, y equals 2x, so you know what we're subbing it into. So therefore just subbing x to either one of these two, I'm going to choose plus 2 first. So y is equal to 2 times plus 2, therefore y is equal to 4. And y is 4 when x is positive 2, so therefore one of the coordinates is 2, 4. Do the same thing again, but for the other x coordinate, so y is equal to 2 times x, so therefore you sub in x to be minus 2, so y is 2 times minus 2, so therefore y is minus 4, so therefore when x is minus 2, y is minus 4. Okay, so they're the coordinates of P and Q. Okay, so that's the answer for question 4. That's the end of question 4. Now we're going to be moving on to question 5. See next. Okay, yeah, weirdly enough I can count. Okay, so hopefully we'll see you in that question. Thanks for watching.